The Driving While Awesome podcast is recorded live to SD card at the Beeline Motor Club in Santa Cruz, California.
Oh, dude. So the kid that got a concussion comes in.
So bad.
Another just shot to the head.
Poor parents.
And I just started yelling at the kid. I'm like, figure it out.
Yeah. You're like, get up.
yeah. Just the presence of Art's aura was enough to spill water on the plane.
Awesome.
And it made a huge racket. Like everyone's like, oh. Welcome to Driving While Awesome, part of the Hagerty Podcast Network. My name's Warren.
I'm Nick.
I'm Lane.
Nick, how does it feel to be a permanent guest now?
It feels great. Other than the fact that I've been memed as the Seinfeld quiet talker,
Yes. Well,
the low talker.
we're working on that.
We're working on it.
Actually, has DWA Memes done that yet?
Oh,
Get on that, whoever runs that account.
We still don't know. It's a mystery.
No.
it's a
it's a
total mystery. And if he or she is listening,
Probably a girl.
Yeah, get it going. Now I'm bummed that this is here. This is just not.
Well, you know
all
why?
up in your
Because he's
face.
too close to you.
Can I do that?
Why is he so?
Yeah,
why
I don't
is
know.
he so like?
I don't know why I'm so close.
Yeah, why do you
I'll
need?
scooch.
Why do you need to like hug?
I'm gonna line up with Lane here.
Well, keep in mind you're in the camera, so let's
Yeah.
just make sure we're good.
All right,
That's better.
all right.
Though.
But
is
that's
better.
what's happening. He's
So
I was too.
you were lined up there because we had Clark. And
Oh,
you guys
right.
both had to be super tight. Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
That's better. I think we're doing it.
Way bien.
We're doing
Okay.
it, folks. Yeah, for the listeners, you can watch us on YouTube, of course, but we've been kind of tweaking our arrangement.
yes.
And it's not always perfect. These mic stands are good. They're better than the big arms, but they still kind of get in the line.
I
of
was
sight.
watching. I was watching the Smoking Tire, and I noticed they have some booms as well, but they seem to be low. They
Just
just
because
sort of
they're
come up.
the way they're mounted.
Like-
so
like
it's the way
these-
the mic mounts. It mounts on the bottom and it swings up.
Right.
The ones we have only can mount from
Top.
the top and go down. So you have
see.
to have them all high. And then therefore it's like right in your
Yeah.
eye.
Did you just hit a button on the
Nope.
board?
Definitely did.
Okay.
But it didn't do anything.
Good. I don't know what that
It's
button
on
does.
some weird channel.
All right,
We
we're
definitely
good.
just threw the instruction manual away immediately. So
Well, there's not much to it.
This is the simplest board ever.
Roadcaster.
Yeah. It's meant for one thing.
Rode hard and put
Kicking
away
ass.
and
wet. Yeah, it is.
chewing bubble gum.
Chewing bubble gum.
And I'm out of bubblegum.
We have some updates, but we also have questions. What do you guys want to do first?
Well, it's the return of Lane also.
oh, Return of Lanathan.
2 weeks. First
Yeah, dude.
time ever. 2
two
weeks
consecutive?
in a row,
Back to
yeah.
back.
First time, yeah.
And now I can't claim I've never been on a podcast. Like,
Felt weird,
I
dude.
can't claim I haven't done back to backs.
No, I think I'm now taking over the reign of Cal Ripken.
I've definitely still been on
the
way more
longest
than you.
stint. Yeah.
No,
It's
not
tough to
even.
say, though.
No, it's not.
No one's keeping
Not even
track.
close.
Really. No one's really keeping track. either.
Lane has a
Close.
spreadsheet. I've seen it.
Yeah, right. Last guy to have a spreadsheet.
That's true.
It's actually just a sheet.
It's
Although in high
spread
school,
out
I
sheet.
did have a paper that I keep in my wallet with every car I've ever driven.
Yep.
Huh.
And then your wallet exploded like George Costanza.
It got way too
Never
big.
been seen ever since.
Yeah. And
Dude.
my added with my phone number list of everyone I knew.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was
man.
extensive.
That is really,
I had that
devastating to lose.
Yeah.
I had one of those for sure. So your wallet's looking a little slimmer. Did you go on a diet? What happened?
Yeah, dude. You know,
He just carries SD cards in it now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just keep it clean, you know, keep it trim.
Clean culture. Ever since he had that back issue from the big wallet.
yeah.
Totally.
Clean it
I'm
up.
pretty good at always taking my wallet out when I drive. I never always at my work desk. I take it out, put it on my desk. You know,
Because
I
I
never-
can't sit on it.
I can't do that.
You would need like a little
it's
booster.
Not, hey,
I can't do that.
it's not that.
It's not that bad. I feel like
What are you, money clip guy?
I'm like a little card holder guy, but
That's
it's kind
annoying.
of blown out now because I have personal and business and a bunch of crap in here.
That doesn't look comfortable. That little sharp
Sits
edge.
up here, sticking out.
I don't like front pocket shit.
Because that would help your back too much. You're more
No,
of a back.
I don't like the front pocket. You get like.
So
no.
what about your keys or your phone?
My Pulsar key I keep in the little tiny like knife pocket.
Oh, well, that doesn't even count. What about house key and stuff? Is that house key on it?
I don't have a house key.
My house key is actually
On my it's on my Porsche. I have a house key, and I'll just keep it. Then I keep it in my that little pouch.
Change pocket.
dangle
Yeah,
a
little
Porsche
change
key
pocket.
out.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. Well, it's exciting. Very exciting stuff. Let's do questions, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's see what's going on.
By the way, Warren, did you notice that I added 2 pieces of art to the wall?
Yep.
Okay.
I noticed one's askew also.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, one's
sure.
askew for sure,
I
and the
believe
other
you.
one is
you
the
added-
signed Gordon Murray.
Yeah.
But so we have a vintage photo of some Porsches racing, and we have the Gordon Murray official mini poster of the new models, signed by Gordon Murray, courtesy of T. Fretch.
That's his real name.
Oh, I had a guy at Atlanta say, so this is a prominent Porsche collector who I didn't have any idea at the time when I was talking to them. And he said, "Where are you from?" I told him. He said, "Oh, that's in Canapa country." And I said, "Oh, no, we're not near Napa. We're like closer to Monterey." He goes, "No, Canapa."
Oh, okay.
Canapa.
So I learned something every day.
Huh, cool.
No one really knows how to pronounce it anyways.
Yeah,
but
is
now
it
they really don't know.
Canapa? Is it
So what I've heard,
Canepa?
Michael Allen Ross was just talking to me about this. He's all, it's Canepa, which is what I always call it. We've always called
Canepa.
it.
Yeah.
He says it's Canepa, but Bruce calls it Canapa because that's the way his dad said it or
Right.
something.
Well, so why does Michael Allen Ross have an alternate pronunciation to?
Because he's like it's
Mr.
it's-
Canapa Senior.
Because it's Italian. He's all in
Oh,
in
well,
Italy,
yeah, but
it'd be
how many generations
Canepa.
removed are they?
Right.
It's gabagool, by the way.
Is it though? What is gabagool? Is it like a casserole?
No, it's a meat. It's just God, what is it? It's like capicola.
I don't even
That's
know what
it
you're
is.
talking about right now.
Well, capicola is
It's
just like
cap-
salami.
Yeah. No, that's literally it.
But I
But
thought it
they
was a
just
dish.
pronounce it all crazy
Capicola, they say
who pronounces
gabagool.
it? Who says that?
in Jersey.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Did you ever watch The Sopranos?
Of course.
I
dude?
did a long time ago.
All right.
It's an old show, dude.
But you have a great memory. You would remember that.
Nah.
Yeah, you're like
There's a bee on your head or whatever. That's all I remember.
Okay.
all right.
The ducks.
Italian pronunciation can be widely varied.
Let's do this, guys, shall we? Instagram questions. I cannot sort them this week.
Sick. You couldn't last week either, or
Or
the week
the-
before.
I think
Yeah.
I could last week.
I don't think
No, you
could.
couldn't
I
the
don't think
week
you could.
before. That's the only one I
feel like
privy
it's-
to.
But I was here last week,
Kind
and
of
I'm
a-
referring to last week.
I'm not sure
this
you
week,
could
but
sort them last week.
I thought I
I
could.
feel like it's a Groundhog's Day situation.
The following is a clip from the show 2 weeks earlier.
I cannot filter them, sort them
Oh, yeah.
properly. So
Sorry.
start at the bottom.
This is at least the second week of that consecutively.
I don't know if it was actually.
Let me see if I can do it.
We need somebody to have a spreadsheet that keeps track of this.
Yeah, Lane, where's your spread or in your
Just-
wallet?
I'm not a spreadsheet
Just
guy.
add
Wallet.
a, just
You need
add
a
a
card.
field, bro. Just one more
Yeah,
row.
that's right. An X marks the spot.
Yeah. And then we could filter it by could he sort or not.
Could he sort or not?
Yep, exactly.
I like that. All right.
Data. We need big
let's
data.
Get on this. SV Expert says, while on a job, I stumbled upon a 1984 Buick Park Avenue with 30,000 miles on it. The lady is the original owner and it runs. She stopped driving it because of gas prices. It's $800 and fairly clean. Should I buy it? Try and flip it? Hate to see it end up at a junkyard.
Did she stop driving it in 94?
No, I don't know. Obviously, it's probably just, drive to church.
Right.
On
Yeah, one of those
Sundays,
things.
But,
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's worth
it's
what?
an $1,800 car.
I was just going to say
and you can get it for $800.
Yeah.
and you have to deal with it.
all the
Yeah.
stuff. And is it really that great a condition?
He says it's a pretty good condition.
Fairly
30K
clean.
miles.
Fairly
Fairly
clean.
clean. I'm not sure what that is. Is it collector grade?
1984. I'm going to look it up right now because I can't even picture what
Dude,
it's
Do you,
going to
do
look
you,
like.
you think things in the Hagerty valuation guide?
Am I?
No, you think this car is? Could we get some
No.
data?
No.
No.
I doubt it.
That car sounds horrible.
Sports car marketplace?
Buick Park. Oh, it's pretty bad. I mean, it is Cadillac-esque. It's like a full
Let's have a look here.
full size, full size dog.
Oh yeah,
Full size dog.
full sized.
It's a dog world.
Yeah, that's a no from me, dog.
It is cool. I think if you want it, like if you enjoy it. So there's this adage.
Is
It's
it-
definitely not a flip car,
is
but
there-
it's a, yeah.
Exactly. My friend's grandfather has this rule related to real estate, and he owns 50 houses in Santa Cruz. But he says that if you only buy it if you are willing to live there at some point. If things go south if you would be
You
willing
have to
live
sell
there
all
yourself,
49 other houses.
and I'm just saying that's the rule.
Yeah,
of
because
thumb.
it's saying
like instead of buying in Modesto, no offense, Modesto, right on, but
Motown.
By the way, can this guy sell me a house?
no, the rentals, Nick, rental properties, buddy, passive income. But anyways, that's one of the things. So, in other words, this car, do you like it enough to own it yourself or like have any interest in it? If it's just a flip, there's not enough money in this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're maybe like
It's not worth dealing with it.
exactly.
I'd rather sell a car than make. I'd rather like have someone else sell a car for me than make
Does
$500.
Does it have a velour interior?
I would say
Guaranteed it does.
probably yes.
Could be leather. Could be like rouged leather.
Or
you know?
leather.
Corinthian.
Or find someone who you think is interested in buying it before you buy it. How about that?
Oh, there you go. That's a good call.
Line up the flip.
Yeah. But then you have to.
I don't know, though.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work for that.
It's not worth it.
For the
And
So-
by the way, if you
I
get
mean,
in,
it is
you're like,
a-
oh, the brakes are. It needs like new
Tires
brakes
and
and tires.
you could
Yeah.
you could be like, I doubled my money on this thing, but
I know, but you
there
could
wasn't
also
a lot of
need
money
tires,
objectively.
and then you lost all your money.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you
or
could
it
probably
doesn't pass
put
smog
some
because it's in
Shangs on that.
Yeah,
It's saying,
or it
you know what I
doesn't-
mean?
It's definitely
84.
carbureted.
84 Buick.
Yeah.
Carburet,
Not good,
you think?
man.
And for that reason,
Hell yeah.
84 didn't have EFI and them things.
Nah, dog.
Sure.
Yeah.
he's not sure.
A Buick guy.
I'm sure.
All right.
Mustang got EFI in 1984 or no, 85, right?
Yeah, but as we know, Buick's been a technology leader for
Yeah,
many years.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your father's Buick. or-
No. This is not your
Not your
Buick?
not your
No.
grandfather's Buick. No.
Swedish
And
Cadillac.
by the way, I know I'm wrong on the Mustang year. I know 83 was carved. Yeah.
It's
Joe,
right on the-
Joe
it's right-
Polo will yell at me.
Oh, for
for
sure.
that.
It's
yeah.
right on the border.
So, yeah, something.
We'll need more time. Swedish Cadillac says, would you rather race spec Honda Fits or spec Miatas in large groups on road courses?
I'll go Fit.
Wait,
It's front wheel drive, rear wheel
the
drive.
Miata.
I think Miata myself.
Yeah.
I'll go Fit.
Yeah. I like the look of a spec fit. Spec fit.
Yeah, I like the look of it. The Miata's, it's a known quantity.
I mean, Miata's
the,
Miata,
the
right?
Fit seems like maybe.
But I think Miata's just like, that would be more fun.
Yeah.
Probably
I
a
think
little
so.
more fun than
I think so
Miata.
too. A
Yeah.
little more go-karty.
Yeah. Even though, yeah, it's like,
But I feel like a spec fit is probably super fun.
it's probably
Just
super
throw it
fun.
around and
Yeah.
smash into people.
It's more
and
forgiving, that's for sure.
It's going to be a lot roomier, you know?
Yeah.
More space.
I
Yeah.
do like the hot hatch
A
angle.
little less tin canny, you know? I don't know.
Less tin canny?
I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know.
Equal tin cans.
Yeah.
All right.
Bobby Reed with the Cars says, would you rather drive 500 miles in 100-degree weather with no air conditioning or 0-degree weather with no heat? Assume clear and dry conditions.
Dude, you have to do the 100. I mean, I hate heat, but I would way rather
Same.
drive
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah,
heat.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, being cold for
being
that long.
that cold is the most miserable.
Zero. We're not even
Zero
talking
degrees?
20 or
No.
30 degrees. We're talking
You're-
zero.
Yeah, that's
I drove
that's
to Eureka, California from Santa Cruz in my Porsche 914. I had headers on it, stupidly put headers on it. So I got rid of the heater boxes. So no heat. I have never been that cold in my life.
Yeah.
I stopped at multiple gas stations to buy extra pairs of gloves and,
Yeah, and the
sweatshirts
car's
from
like-
the town I
Did
was
you get
in.
one of those rad like ponchos with the weed?
I got everything I could,
Everything.
dude. I was just buying stuff. I had like 3 pairs of gloves on. I was like, oh.
Like that neon orange
Dude, I
ski
did not
mask
care what it
and
looked like. It was just
Balaclava.
everything.
balaclava.
And I was still so uncomfortable, and yeah, it was the most
it's
miserable experience.
brutal, man. I've never
And
really
by the way,
had
this
to-
is in California, where it, like, not like it doesn't snow in California, but this is not a snowy area. I didn't hit any.
it wasn't
snow.
0 degrees.
You know,
It was
it's
probably like
yeah.
38
Yeah.
the whole time.
cold enough.
This
Probably.
is zero.
yes.
On top of that, I've done this drive 100-degree weather for 500 miles.
I've done it on rallies.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't
you
have
guys
AC
did
in
it.
my
You
E30.
guys did it very recently.
I've
Yeah.
I've driven multiple hot rallies in my E30 without
Yeah.
AC. So
and I've done it in mine.
I'm not saying it's like 100 degrees exactly the whole time, but it's
Oh, that one, it was
Pretty hot.
close to 100 the whole time.
pretty hot.
Yeah.
I also got to go heat. I have not experienced driving for an extended period of time in any kind of 0-degree weather, but
Without a heater, I've
I
never
have
done that.
ridden motorcycles in cold weather, and with the wind chill, it's effectively 0 degrees.
Yeah.
At like 30,
Yeah, that's not
40
good.
degrees
Hands.
plus
Yeah,
speed.
that sounds awful.
We're
That's
there,
no bueno.
man. All right. Jacob Torres 6 says, Is there any upgrade or modification that you thought would have little impact, which may have been one of the most impactful on any of your vehicles? I feel like he's asked this question before, or maybe it just sounds
I don't
familiar.
remember hearing this.
For example, chassis bracing on my NA6, thought it would do little, did way more than anticipated.
What's an NA6?
NA6. I don't know. NA Miata, I know what that is. NA6 series BMW. No, I don't know.
Naturally aspirated 6-cylinder.
I'll look it up while you guys talk. Discuss
Insert
amongst
here.
yourselves.
Yeah.
NA6
you know
Miata.
what? Is it Miata?
Yeah.
What is an NA6? What is 6?
NA6 is a 1.6 liter NA.
Oh, as opposed to
The
the
1.8,
1.8, which is
NA.
later.
We're really drilling down
So early
fine
or
details
is it-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. That's
cool.
it.
I've never heard that before. But I think tires. The first time I got Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which was on my GTI, I remember going from the stock, a brand new car, had brand new Pirelli all seasons, and it was like slipping and sliding all over the place in the wet, and it was plowing. And then I got those Pilot Super Sports, and it was night and day. I didn't expect it to be that big of a difference,
Right.
Yeah.
because they were like brand new Pirellis off a brand new car.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say seat. A proper sport seat makes a huge difference. You think it's like, a lot of it's aesthetics. It looks cool. But really getting super snug in the right seat makes a huge difference. That is a big one.
Rebuilding any cable shifter.
Ah,
Massive difference.
yeah.
And oftentimes, especially if you've had the car for a while, you sort of learn the shift. You become acclimated, right? And then like with this car, for example, I had it for a while and I was sort of going through it a few years back, and I decided, I'll freshen it up. And it was like huge difference. It's still not as tight as it could be. It's cable actuated, but just like much more precise feel and notches into gear nicely. And suddenly you're like, it's sort of the same thing as like
This
replacing
car shifts well.
old
yeah.
tires with new tires.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, for sure.
the old tires sort of wear out, they get hard.
Actually,
you don't really
that's a
notice.
good one too. You're like,
And you're like,
you're like the rides
Even
so much
same
nicer.
for same. Yeah,
Yeah.
quieter,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one. Anything else come to mind? Any other? I mean, there's other like impactful upgrades, but they are
Should
advertised
expect,
as
yeah,
that.
you expect them to be.
like hollow,
Yeah.
like big hollow sway bars on my
Yeah,
GTI
yeah.
were like night and day.
I remember in high school,
transformed it.
putting a quote unquote good stereo in.
Oh,
It was like
your-
pretty
your
transformative, dude.
Your upgrade. Well, because we lived in our cars so much.
Yeah, and you would like live by your mixtapes, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And it would just be like a set of speakers, like just 6.5 inch whatever speakers,
6x9s maybe.
not just little door speakers.
Oh, those guys.
And then like whatever the deck was, Pioneer or something, Kenwood, whatever I put in.
Yeah.
Sony Explode.
Never did that
Oh,
one.
don't do that. Yeah, that is a big one. I think that was more impactful when we spent so much time with friends in our cars.
Yes.
There was a lot of like hanging out in the car.
Yep.
That was
sure.
big. Okay. Last question. Really Skeptical asks, fragile luxuries on old cars. Do you use them, or are you too afraid of the potential repercussions of something breaking? Sunroofs, power seats, power windows, mirror adjustments, convertible top, AC, etc. For example, I love driving my E28 with the sunroof open and 4 windows down, but I cringe every time I go to close it up. Should I just stop using the sunroof altogether and cherish the fact that it works, or keep dreaming that the sunroof will be perfect forever?
I think it'll break either way,
Yes.
right?
But also-
it'll break from using it. It'll
Yeah.
break from sitting and not using it. Say with AC.
Yep.
It's going to break if you use it. It's going to break if you don't use it. It's going to dry
Well, how
up,
about this?
right?
Like, should I just stop using the sunroof and cherish the fact that it works? It doesn't work if you don't use it.
Yeah, it doesn't work if you
Sure.
don't use it.
And
Yeah.
if you discontinue the use of it, I think the likelihood increases that
it-
when you do go to push that button,
It'll break.
But as you're reading this question, like sunroof was literally the first thing that came to
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it's such a like even in the E55. I mean, that's a 20-year-old car now. Every time I press that button, I'm like, sort of a
Right.
moment of suspense, right? You get a little
Yeah.
bit of an adrenaline
Yeah.
jolt. Is it going to
Yeah.
work? Is it not going to work? Am I going to be screwed here? Will I deeply regret this decision?
I know. I'm like very, I wouldn't say careful, but just methodical when I open my manual sunroof in my E30.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
I don't like, wind it out super hard or like go in the opposite direction.
Gently.
And I think it's fine. And I use it pretty often. So I think it's all good, but yeah, there is a part of me that thinks about it.
I think there have been cars that I've just been like, nah, not gonna mess with that sunroof.
I think there's cars that I've passed on buying because they have too many things. Like I was offered a W140 S-Class. That's like the big boy. And it was a loaded model with a bunch of stuff. And it was kind of like a cheap example too. It was inexpensive, used, high mileage. There's just too much stuff. Just too many things.
Yeah.
All the power settings, and even had those little antennas that come out of the corner. Masts, so you can see the edge of your car, as you're backing up.
I can tell you, for a while, I was trying to adjust. When I first bought the E55, I was trying to adjust my seats. And I was like, man, this system is really, it's crappy. I'm not getting a whole lot of adjustment here. Maybe get like a little bit of a lumbar movement or something. Well, it's air actuated. And all of the lines crack and get old and shitty. And so like eventually I started hearing some hissing noises when I was using the switch. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just game over. And I've thought many times about rebuilding the system, but it's pretty involved. I have to like take the seats out and like strip back some stuff and get in there.
So does that have dynamic seats at that? It doesn't in a 210.
No.
Okay. So my car has dynamic.
It's got that big like switch plate that's got all the adjusters on it, and they're all feed into some little air pump.
Yeah. So mine has a similar system, but it's even more advanced. It's supposed to, increase the bolster when you go around turns and stuff. So.
Okay.
But it has a mind of its own now at this age, and I think the controller's bad, which was common. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So out of nowhere, it all of a sudden like inflate the bolster.
All of a sudden you're
at least yours are still working.
I'm like, where have you been all my life? They don't work though.
When I key that car on, you can just hear a little.
Oh yeah.
As it primes
holds
the pump
and everything, but it's not. It's like it's confused, and so I try not to mess with it too much because it has pulse. You can do like massaging pulse and all that stuff.
That's a pretty luxurious car, William.
I know.
Ooh, I had a good one with and this is like stuff that you didn't, that's like not necessarily things that are like a luxury, but like electric seats. Like it's the only way to move the seat in that car, but I had a good one with that. The board for the seat control can get a little, I think, corroded or maybe like cold solder joints or something, but the car started only moving the seat forward.
Yeah. So you're inching it forward.
So you're like, oh, I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. And you suddenly end up in a very awkward position where you're pushing it back, but it's moving forward.
Oh, really? Oh, even though you press it the other way.
Every input you give it
just goes forward.
More closer to death.
So my E36 that I had last, it wouldn't move back. It would only move forward. So I had to tell everyone that drove it.
Oh, that's right.
Like when Art borrowed it, I'm like, do not adjust the seat.
Yeah,
he's a close boy.
I'll be screwed.
I was very fortunate. I pulled the switch and cleaned it up and everything worked again. But I was very fortunate that I had a memory saved and the memory function would send it back to where I need it to be.
Oh, that's good. So something about the switch was messed up.
Sarah was driving it one day and called me like panic. She's like, I'm like, move the seat. Keeps moving forward.
So mine was the gear. It wasn't
one.
it wasn't the switch. So
got it.
But it was actually in the back, so you could still move the seat actual forward.
So here's one that I don't think is necessary kind of at all, but I get why they do it. Obviously it's a luxury item, but is the electronic adjustable steering wheel.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's nice when it works and everything, but that is such a key like adjustment piece that and the manual ones are so easy.
Yeah.
You just unlock it, you do your thing, and you lock it. That's it.
I guess you could say it's like hard to set perfectly.
Really?
So it's like getting that little,
I guess so.
That micro adjustments.
They're pretty good though. Like, I mean, as long as you hold it while you lock it, but
I'm just saying,
I actually really like an electric adjustable steering wheel.
But
that's
if it breaks,
a Mercedes feature that I really enjoy.
Like, imagine what do you do if that breaks?
I feel so like plebeian when I have to like move the lever and the columns
so
all
easy.
floppy.
I'm surprised.
This guy
also, like you want to make incremental adjustments. It's kind of difficult, especially like you can't like if you're like want to tweak a little bit while driving, you got to and then it's
you feel like you shouldn't be doing that. Right?
Yeah,
I guess.
This guy I work with has a G55 AMG G-Wagon.
Yep.
And it's a lemon law car because the steering wheel
adjustment.
because the adjustment, the up and down.
Oh,
So what does it take
whoa.
to fix that? Whole column comes out or something?
I guess so. His
Lemon
just doesn't
law.
go up
Well,
and down.
it
now.
must mean that
it
they-
still goes in and out, but it just doesn't go up.
It
and
must
down.
mean that they tried to fix it several times and they weren't
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, yeah.
But why would they have to try to fix it
I
if
wonder
it's
what
impossible to
I wonder
fix?
to what lengths they went. Like, did they replace modules?
Before they lemon
Did
lawed
they-
it? Probably
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
I bet they
probably
went through a
threw
lot.
like
You would
15
think,
grand worth
right?
of parts of this thing. Under
Especially
warranty.
on
Yeah.
that like third or that second go around or third go
Yeah.
around, whatever.
Third go around. The
Fascinating.
third comeback, they were
Yeah.
like throwing everything at it
Yep.
and it still didn't fix it.
Yeah,
See, that's if
So
it was-
where do you buy the car? Auction?
I don't know.
But see, there you go. Manual would not have been a problem.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
Incidentally,
Yeah.
like Ferrari in the 80s would disagree with you that it's a vital thing. They're just like, here's the fucking steering wheel. It's there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in that position.
Well, I
So
mean,
you get-
tons of
My
companies.
E30 is the same.
My
Yeah.
E36
Yeah.
was the same.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
944,
fixed, no
my
adjustment.
911.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a pretty wacky thing to, as an engineering marvel. You know, it needs to be very solid and connected to the car, the steering column, and then you're making it.
Yeah.
In the
Adjustable.
Does
in the-
your E36 adjust?
I think so.
Because mine didn't, and mine was a 90.
I don't think it
I don't think
does.
it does.
Mine was last year.
I don't think it does.
Mine,
It does
or
not.
mine was 97.
But they did have
because I'm
it
pretty
a bit.
sure
they
when
had,
I got in
think
your
they had
car,
it in the 90. I thought they only had it in 95s or something like that, like early.
Yeah.
huh?
So maybe yours.
So in the brochure, there is a diagram of it being adjusted, but maybe it's like a certain model or European or I don't know.
I have to
It's
take a
closer,
look
yeah.
when we pull it down.
that's
a
a
good
weird
question.
one.
Yeah.
It seems like
don't think it does.
Seems like it
a
should.
pretty new car to not have an adjustable wheel though.
In
I
the
agree.
domestic resto mod scene, like in Joe Polo's world, tilt column is a huge
deal.
deal for these old guys getting into pickup trucks, especially if you got a little bit of.
Okay, come
little bit
on,
portly.
go easy on
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
No. I'm just saying.
biscuits and
In
gravy?
general, older guys doing custom trucks and shit. You know, it's
Well-
difficult to get in and out of the car with
Yeah.
a big ass wheel. People like to keep the big wheels, so that like.
Isn't
that
it
tilt
also
column
like a
thing is
safety
huge.
thing?
Yeah. I mean, that's collapsible columns.
Collapsible column, okay.
When usually you'll get a whole kit that'll have a collapsing
Yeah,
joint
yeah,
and the
yeah,
tilt.
yeah.
But
buddy
I've seen
had-
people spend lots of money to get that feature into a custom truck.
Huh.
My buddy had like a 90 Firebird in high school, and it had an adjustable column or a steering wheel, you know, or whatever, like a tilt, and he would use it like every time to get in and out of the car because it was so low and like tight, kind of. He would just always, and it was like almost like spring loaded, you know. You just
It just
flip
pops up,
and
yeah.
it would just go boing, and then you'd get out. And
Well,
come back
that's
in.
a 300 SL feature as well, right? It
Yeah.
just folds down. I don't
Yeah.
think
folds
it's-
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a heck of a car to get in and out of. Not that I've done it, but you know how it goes.
Yeah.
That's it for questions.
There we go.
What was I going to say, dude? I played a soccer game today.
What?
I just came.
Played a soccer game?
My Andrew finished soccer, and as tradition has it, which I didn't know this, there's a parents versus kids soccer game
Oh,
at
sure.
the end of the season. And
Slide.
I last played a real soccer game in 7th grade,
Yeah.
maybe something like that.
So was this a real soccer game?
Been a little while. I mean, there was 2 goals and 2 teams playing soccer. I don't know what else you would call it.
How many slide tackles?
I slid tackle everyone. I played goalie to start for the kids. So I was like in the kids team goalie. It was actually pretty fun. But feel kind of beat up playing
Yeah?
soccer
dude.
with 6 and 7 year olds.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
running involved. Yeah.
It's like little stuff where I'm just not used to
Did you score a goal?
moving. I did not score a goal. No.
Did any parents injure themselves on the field?
Dude, listen to
Rolled
this one.
ankles? Any?
No, luckily no parents hurt themselves, but we were all like, oh, this is going to hurt tomorrow. But this one kid, like second game of the season, got just absolutely creamed in the head by a ball, like short distance, you know, knocked him off his feet, crying out, right? Turns out he had a concussion, not that surprising. In the rules of this league, there's no head, like you can't head the ball.
Yeah.
Just to keep kids safe and all that stuff. But this kid got a concussion. Well, he ended up missing the rest of the season, you know?
Damn.
It was just like, I don't know. They basically just determined it wasn't good for him to come back. Then tonight he shows up as the last thing. He's in his uniform. He hasn't been to a practice or a game
gets
since
hurt.
like game 2. He comes in and plays, and he like is playing really well and like almost scores a goal and everything. Like in 5 minutes in, someone just blasts a kick right off his head, like earshot, just
Oh no.
To the point where I had to turn around. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
oh, dude. So the kid that got a concussion comes in,
So bad.
another just shot to the head.
Poor
Wow.
parents.
And I just started yelling at the kid. I'm like, figure it out.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. You're like, get up.
yeah. No, luckily,
Look alive.
Yeah. He toughed it out and able to play the rest of the game.
Oh, that's good.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, the minute and the mom was there because she's playing in the game, you know.
Yeah,
so
and
it's like
she's-
kicked right to the head.
That's
So,
bad.
It's funny because you think you avoid American football for the kids because the
Yeah.
concussions, but then
Yeah. Well,
playing
kids
European football, they still get whacked.
They do wear these like little helmet things. They're kind of like neoprene air foam kind of.
Oh
things.
yeah, I've seen
They're not
those.
hard
They're
helmets.
almost like wrestling helmets.
Yeah, exactly.
Head-
So-
All of them wear
well,
them?
no. Just it's up to you
Headgear.
if you want to.
If you will.
Headgear, I guess. Yeah.
I
Which is
wouldn't-
supposed
I
to,
wouldn't let my kid wear that.
which is supposed to help for concussions. I know.
Just
Just
heckled forever.
beat them up, dude.
Soccer. Come on.
I don't know. These kids are getting concussions. Their brains are
Man.
bouncing off their skulls. I don't know.
I mean, a short range.
are you
like
back to it,
Full
Lane?
kick.
Never was off, dude.
He was-
You were off for a
he
little
never
bit.
left, dude.
dog.
Yeah, there was a
No,
moment.
he
Never
made.
left
I think
me.
he. I think he asserted that he
my
was
precious.
off the wagon, but he was just like secret about
I
it.
know. I never said it was off.
I want to put
dude.
some cayenne
Oh, maybe
pepper
there's
in
art.
that.
Was that art?
Yeah, Odie claims that.
Should we put some cayenne pepper to
Fine, dude.
wean
I'll
you
still
off?
hit it up.
Yeah, he might like
Hit it
it.
harder.
You will, huh?
Yeah.
Tapatio.
Where- dude,
Oh,
that's
this
a
tastes good
that's
to
a
burn.
great that's a great
By the
Lane
way, your
stocking
lips look
stuffer.
so chapped.
Thanks, dude.
I kind of
We
got
gotta-
lips too.
Is it like it's like that nose spray where if you use it too much, like you become dependent on it?
Oh,
and your
the-
nose is
the-
still clogged.
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. You don't want to
Sort
fuck
of
with
like
that
that.
stuff.
Afrin or something?
Afrin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Afrin.
People,
No, that's Affleck.
That's Affleck.
yeah, people get like addicted to that.
Yeah, with the ducks.
Yeah, dude. People get addicted to this stuff too.
no,
At least we know at least one person.
So Hagerty used to hook it up for our rallies and stuff. He'd give us these like packs, and for whatever reason, we ended up with like
Yeah, with the sunscreen and the
we ended up
chapstick.
with like 20 chapsticks or
No,
something.
20. What are you talking about?
What?
It was like 250, dude.
okay, 250. Well,
I went through every single one.
I know. See,
In a year.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's one every
Yeah,
1.4
No, they don't.
days.
Those Hagerty ones don't last that long.
my lips
dude.
hurt real bad. Is that what you said? Yeah.
See some chapstick.
Dude, if I can remember this, I'm gonna look for like some weird chapsticks to get Lane.
Okay.
What does that
Stocking-
even mean? Like
stocking
Bonnie
stuffer.
Bell?
Well, I mean, you were just suggesting like chipotle pepper,
Whoa.
Yeah.
cayenne pepper.
That doesn't
Oh, bring it
exist.
on, Nick. Bring it on.
That might
Yeah.
exist, dude.
A Tapatio.
The internet's a weird
chapstick?
place.
But you know what it
Tapatio
is?
chapstick would be
You
amazing.
kind of like your brand.
or
You
like
stick to your brand.
like beef flavored, you know? It's just like
It's just
like
so
bullion.
gross. It just kind of leaves a taste in your mouth of just like petroleum jelly.
You mean like beautiful mint? Yeah.
Some
So gross.
Petroleum
mentholated.
jelly?
Mint. So gross.
Oil byproduct. No big deal.
Mint. It tastes so gross.
Yeah, right. You use that stuff. What is
Fucking
what
beautiful
do you got
mint.
over there? Anyway, classic
Medicated,
what?
Classic
medicated,
mint.
Oh,
bro.
medicated.
Classic.
Yeah,
I have a freaking problem.
I like
I'm
like
sick over here.
medicine.
My lips are sick.
Yeah, dude.
I need my medicine, man.
Brother.
Wow. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so soccer went well. It was
That's
nice. It was a nice evening.
Were there any ringers? Any,
What
like
were you driving?
Ronaldo style parents getting out there doing
So one of the
ball juggling and shit?
one of the kids is like a ringer for sure. Riley, he's just like a maniac and really good at soccer, but kind of a ball hog. But you kind of want him to be because he's good. And then there's some kids that look at the ball like they've never seen a soccer ball before, and they're like counting the clovers.
That's me,
and-
dude. Picking
Really?
flowers out there, bro.
Really?
Dude, it's just me playing baseball, dude. I got it. Oh shoot, that's my head.
Dong. So you
Dude,
should have been wearing a helmet.
I had a scene, dude. I like ball hit me on the head in left field,
Hard ball.
bounced off.
Yeah.
Minor leagues.
Okay.
I was just on the ground, dude.
Dang.
Yeah,
Well, that's why
you're
you,
looking up at the sky, you get all disoriented.
yeah.
How much chapstick did you have on?
It's a tough game.
Go get my big league shoes still.
Yeah, exactly. Snack Shack.
Get my 50-cent card or whatever it was.
So I drove the Tundra to soccer, and then
Nice.
I came home and parked it. And as I got out, I said, that smells like coolant. Open the hood, and it needs a radiator.
Bummer.
So there you
Tank
go.
cracked or whatever.
Yeah, top of the tank is like seeping. It's wet, and I could smell it.
Is that
Plastic
Yeah.
end tanks.
so it's end tanks or is the top
Top, you know where it
tank.
crimps onto the top? It's right on that seam. I couldn't
on the end tank?
see exactly. Yeah, it's a top tank.
Oh,
Yeah,
top
so it's
tank. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. Which is a bummer because I just got new coolant in it and a new upper hose.
Guess that there's, I would guess that like Koyo, Rad, or Mishimoto or something makes an all aluminum one that's probably roughly the same money as a stock.
I'll have to look at,
and it's probably not any better, and it'll probably have a leak in it, and after like a year,
probably.
But
I feel like
but that
Mishimoto or something
lasts how long?
Dude, a long time.
Yeah,
it looks original.
Have you had problems with aluminum?
Mishimoto is like
really?
you hear about them all the time, like springing little leaks. Like, so I had, I think it was. I forget what the brand was. It's a well-known brand in my 928, and I went through like 3 of them because I did the same thing. And the end tanks would leak, and then I bought them, and I went through 3. Had to keep warrantying them out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe CSF.
CSF's good. Yeah. I'll check it out. I mean, if an OE is affordable, I'll do it. But I'm worried.
I'm just always like bummed on plastic tank radiators.
I know, but to Lane's point, like it probably lasted 20 years.
Kajillion years. Yeah. But who knows? The quality of the replacement part.
That's true too. I mean,
well, I would want it to like to be OE quality, not a just generic.
You want Toyota
AutoZone
branded.
Yoda.
Well, that sucks.
I know it sucks because the good news is that I caught it before it was an issue.
Yeah,
but it wasn't low on coolant or overheating. It was just like I could smell it. I'm like, that definitely smells like coolant.
My F250 has a little dribble as well.
Which
I believe from the F250. I believe from the back of the intake manifold, because the previous owner said he'd replace the gaskets.
Okay.
Expect that not quite torqued down.
Yeah. So it's a bummer, but it could have been worse. I mean, I have another car and I don't need it. We don't have any real use for it until like ski trip down the road here. So
I feel like Tundra at the soccer game is like almost a Toyota commercial.
I think it is.
You're close.
Oh, straight up,
really
dude!
close.
Like
he's like a couple bags of
carrying
balls.
the bag with the balls. Yeah. Kind of heaves them into the truck bed. It's like, I need a truck.
Well,
come on,
like
kids.
Andrew was getting his cleats on, like sitting on the tailgate.
Oh yeah.
So it was like very, it was a real men of genius kind of moment.
Yeah.
But so that's fun. Need a radiator for that. Good times.
Did you guys talk about SEMA at all? I went to SEMA.
Yeah, a little bit.
We talked extensively about. We speculated about your experience at SEMA.
Well, we kind of talked about just like the general scene, but mainly from like posts we saw. And
What was your guys' take? I mean, people will hear it before this, but
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was just seems like it's kind of a dwindling, dying kind of scene.
It's a dinosaur.
Is it? That's kind of what it feels like.
It feels like.
Like it's getting less and less quality.
It's not.
It feels to me, and we always hate on. It's always like, SEMA. You get that.
It's easy.
You don't have SEMA withdrawals. You have SEMA like
why did I go?
Yeah, it's kind of like, why did I do it
but
again?
Then every year,
like, I want to go. Yeah. And there's some cool stuff. You always have like some takeaways that are pretty neat and everything. You see some stuff that's cool or so.
I feel like the most compelling reason is maybe like to see new products and then like catch up with people, right? Like,
it's fun. Yeah, for sure. And historically, there's been like some unveils there and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Some new cars you see, like if last time we went, like the Maverick was new, so it was like you see all the Mavericks out there. BRZ was first out, you would see all those, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting to see. The big takeaway this year was that, like you guys said, it just felt like a little bit of a dinosaur. You're kind of like, so this thing's like still going on, huh? Mm-hmm. Even though there's like, kind of like, I don't know.
Doesn't it feel like the automotive world has moved on a little bit from that?
That's what it kind of feels like.
Like a
trade
big
show.
Trade show.
That is what it kind of feels like. And it feels like unveils aren't happening there.
No.
It's like unveilings are happening at Pebble Beach, right?
Yeah.
Or during
the Quail.
The Quail, really. The Quail is like the unveilings all happen at the Quail. Auto shows don't have unveilings anymore.
They do these bespoke little boutique gatherings for just a few journalists at some cool spot. It's probably way cheaper than doing these big build out, halls and stuff.
Like I don't for example, LA Auto Show is next week.
Yeah.
Or this week. I don't think anything is being unveiled.
I think you're right. And if it is, it's like the LL Bean edition of the new Outback or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like we now have we have
new wheel choices for
choice on the
Highlander.
On the Highlander. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the big takeaway was the Brodozer scene has taken over the whole outside.
Yeah.
So like the whole outside is Brodozer. There's nothing else basically. There was like Joe Polo, the truck they brought was there. There's a couple other things, but it was all amongst the Brodozers with 28-inch wheels and truck nuts, and it says like and it says like I fucked your bitch and on it or something, you know, like the lamest things on the back of it, on the back of the truck, like written in the exhaust pipes like this big, and it's like it's an octagon shape, and it's lime green under.
I don't get,
so it's a little bit of a Bosuzuku vibe.
Yeah, kinda.
I don't get how these are being funded, where they're being.
It's crazy, dude.
Is it Florida? Is this Florida thing?
There's some in Florida for sure.
Yeah.
But like if you go to a Cars and Coffee, you maybe like one will roll in, and it'll be insane. It'll be like all ladder framed and chrome. You can climb up in there. It's like a jungle gym.
And then like the differential, like the pumpkin is like 6 inches off the ground.
Yeah, typically. But not really. Not in the kind of volume that would suggest SEMA. It doesn't seem to be.
It's got to be Texas or something.
It's got to be like the heartland.
I don't know where it is, but it's
Texas,
pretty bad, and it's growing.
Middle America.
But it's only growing at SEMA. It's one of those things like you said, it's not like that's not like car culture we see anywhere or like I hear about ever.
Yeah.
But you see it at SEMA. It exists there.
Yep.
Besides that, there was just like not really any cool builds or any like the Williams F1 was there. That was cool.
Oh,
that's
because
cool.
they had an actual like display with 2 F1 cars. They had a new F1 car there.
Weird.
Did you see? Were there any other racing teams there?
No,
They were just randomly
the
Williams.
The cool thing about Williams, Joe Scapita, who's head of Williams F1, was just standing there at the booth, like walking around. Ali's talking to him because Ali knows him.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they
Probably looking for money or something?
did that?
He claimed
Looking
he
for
just thought it was
sponsorship
valuable,
deals?
and he said no one else wanted to do it, and he was like, "No, we're gonna do it. We're in Mexico. We're gonna be here for the next weekend that weekend was the pre-party for F1, like the end.
Yeah.
So he's like, why would we not do SEMA?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Right?
I'd
forgot about
forgotten
the pre-party.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool that
What
they did
about
it.
the clientele, the spectators, the attendees of SEMA?
Oh, so it's all like Ford out front is gone. All the OEMs.
Oh no, I'm talking about the actual people that go to attend.
No, so that's what I'm kind of getting to. OEMs are gone, right?
Yeah.
Or if there's still OEMs there. Like Dodge had a better presence than I've ever seen.
I saw
them
Toyota
have.
took Ford's spot.
Toyota took Ford's spot and didn't do it up as well as Ford, but it was fine. And then Ford's totally out. Honda was totally out.
GM, did they have the big Chevy thing in
GM's
the middle?
whack as ever. I don't even know where they
But
were.
in the middle,
I don't. That's a good
huge
question.
booth.
I feel like Dodge was in that area.
Oh,
And
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Chevy. Yeah, Chevy might not have even been
Because they
there.
had like the E.
Remember
like
how
the-
bad the booth always was? It was just like
It was
nothing moved.
It felt weird because it was
felt
so
like a
big.
dealership.
Yeah, but they had all their unveiling for the E-Rod
Yeah, they would have like an engine on a stand.
engine stuff and
Yeah.
all that.
I feel like Chevy wasn't there. It was just Dodge. That's funny. I didn't even think about Chevy because Ford always kind of like Ford had the whole outside. So now the outside was all there was a Toyota skid pad thing, like a figure eight. They were doing like drift laps, giving
what?
people rides in the new Supras,
Supras, yeah.
which is kind of cool. They were just giving people rides, and it was cool to watch for
Yeah.
5 minutes or whatever. And then next to that was Hoonigan Burnyard, which is like so that gets me to the clientele.
Yeah.
It's basically like truck nut people and 20 something kids wearing like Yeezys,
Yeah.
but they kind of like are like dirty kid, like dirty troll, you know, like they're Hoonigan kid. They're like
Do you think they're chapstick users?
nah, dude, they don't care about their lips. They don't care about moisturizing.
Truck nut people who are dirty.
No, those are two different people. So there's the truck nut people, and then there's these like it's the cars you see with Hoonigan stickers on them, dude. It's like it's like the bumper falling off. It's just a trash car. It doesn't even have like good wheels
Lexus
on it.
IS with like bacon fenders,
Or even
and
where it's like a Corolla that doesn't even have wheels, but it has hubcaps and it's lowered, but it's kind of janky, and then it has a Hoonigan sticker on the back.
Did you say bacon fenders?
bacon fenders.
What is that?
It's
The
when
slapped on?
Well, no, it's when you like slam your car
Yeah.
and roll the fenders with a baseball bat or whatever. Like you get ripply fenders.
ripply.
Gotcha,
They
gotcha.
look like bacon.
Got it. Yeah.
Never heard of that.
So it's a lot of those those kids
Cool.
that are like really into stance and stuff, and then they're into like watching people just do burnouts for hours.
destroy
I don't really
cars,
understand it.
Yeah, those aren't our people. I think that's probably why. But
So boring to
So-
watch.
are you going next year?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Every time. I want to know about
Gotcha.
the tool area.
So the tool area was actually, it felt weaker than it has in the past as well. There's some cool, like, a lot of the good tool brands are there, like, like Nipex and whatever, Snap-on had a booth. But Snap-on's was weird. It was all based around their like alignment tools. Their wheel,
Must be
they're
pushing
like,
that.
so they didn't have any like hand tools anywhere. They didn't
Maybe
have
that was at the other Apex. Is that what it is?
it could have been at Apex.
maybe.
But
Yeah.
Apex is usually like more like OEM.
Yeah,
more like
fasteners and things like
manufacturing.
that.
Or it's more like it would be like I'm trying to think of
Machine
one.
tools and shit.
No, a lot of times I feel like Apex is more like Brembo brakes
Oh, okay.
or
Components.
it's like kind of bigger component
Supplier stuff.
Yeah, supplier stuff.
I thought it was like hardware and like
Yeah, I think it used
What's
to be
the other
more
one?
like that.
PMI.
PMI.
Yeah. I've not been to that one, but maybe that's another like more supplier focused.
Yeah, but this one, so a lot of like the smaller brands weren't there. So like where you would go and you'd be like, oh, I know that little tool company.
Yeah.
That's like pretty rad. They have all these cool, there wasn't that as much. It was more like big booths. So all the Chinese little booths were gone.
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
like there wasn't
Yeah.
as many of those. And there wasn't as many of the little like almost like cool kind of maybe bigger than mom and pop, but kind of these places that, specialty tool places.
yep.
It was all like bigger booths and stuff. So,
Interesting.
and then overlanding is big. So they have that whole new
Yep.
hall is overlanding.
Which I like that hall. I mean, it's cool
Yeah.
to see like the coolers and there's just camping stuff,
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And then it's
very-
weird because that hall has and it has all these camping rigs and stuff, like people showing off their setups and people all this kind of stuff. And then right next to it was that pink Ferrari F40, and I don't know why it was there. And then
weird.
there was another crappy
Yeah.
car next to it.
Some of their choices. Did it seem empty?
It was
Anyway.
definitely like bigger aisles and more food eating areas.
I see.
Like, they definitely like
maximize
did a good
that.
job of like
Yeah.
masking the fact that it was smaller, that
Yeah,
it had
yeah,
less
yeah.
people, but it was busy as hell. Like on Wednesday, I think it was like, or Thursday was so busy.
It's water running next door.
Oh, trippy. Sorry.
Yeah, it was really busy.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. I don't know if they're hurting or anything, but it just, I don't know.
Well, you say on one hand you say it's a dinosaur and it's not worth it, and then the other hand you say it was really
It's
busy
like-
and you're going next year.
Well, okay.
Lane can't help himself. He
It
goes
was
every year.
busy the last day. It kind of got busier throughout the week.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was like as busy as it ever has been, right? But it's also, I just felt like there was like there was not a single car that I was like stoked on.
What about that Golf, that GTI?
Okay, that one was cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, fully stock. Oh, it's a Skunkworks project
Yeah,
car
that was a
from
it was a
VW
factory
from
car.
1990.
like homologated.
So
thing,
a homologation like race car they built, that Volkswagen built.
Yeah.
So one car was cool,
cool.
and it was out, and it was in the worst area. It was out by like the
It was in the big
food
hall.
court,
Yeah.
Was,
food court area where like bad lighting and
yeah.
What's that thing? I assume it was VR6 powered.
that's a great
Mark
question.
3.
I looked actually.
forget.
It was someone
No,
posted.
I think
it.
it's like a turbo, right?
Yeah.
I
Someone,
mean, maybe if they used that as a development car.
someone
but
posted
in the
it on
era,
Instagram
it would have
and
been
had a
a
whole thing about
factory. Would have been a 2-liter.
Yeah.
Or
It's very
would have
cool.
been a VR6.
Well, it would have been a 2-liter, and then they built the shit out of it. So I think it was I forget if it was a VR6 or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a really cool car. It was a Mark III.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked cool. That was. I actually thought that was a tuner car. I was surprised to learn it was a factory.
The
Yeah.
flares are what made it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was so
Definitely was
crazy how the
very
trim like went
period
into the
looking.
rear fender.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very cool.
It was really neat. And then there was a bunch of like Toyo. So, for example, Toyo Tread Pass, that area outside.
Yeah.
It always has all
Yeah.
those like stance cars and stuff. Dude, there had to be 5 of those like Mercedes like 300 SL knockoff things that are
Oh,
everyone's
right.
building these
Yeah.
days. Where this one
Yeah.
They're
building
just
them on-
awful looking.
They're building them on
They're like the most
SLK.
gaudy things you've ever
Details are
seen.
all wrong and everywhere.
And they're so gaudy, and then they have flared fenders
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
It's like
Weird
it's like
wheels
those Porsche Speedsters from the 80s
Yeah.
with the flared fenders and stuff. It looks
Yep.
exactly like that. They're horrible. And even like last year, there was a cool like 80s 300ZX that stood out. It was like kind of neat in there, that area.
Yeah, they
this
would do
year,
like a Jimny or something cool.
yeah. So this year there was nothing cool looking. There were some cool builds. Like if you look at it from a build aspect, there was that RX-7 with a Zonda engine.
Oh yeah.
So FDRX-7. But dude, the car was disgusting looking. It's ugly. Like
Yeah.
it was not. It was nothing. You're like whatever. I don't care. It's a gross car.
I feel like and people love to hate on the like Bluetooth drive shafts and shit. You know, people just rolling cars into the show. But I feel like SEMA is one of those events where it is sort of expected. I don't know how, but every year everybody is late building their shit for SEMA. You know what I'm saying?
of course.
Everyone can't finish the car, and so they just roll in.
Well,
like
a lot of times these
half
are
assembled.
Well, a lot of times these are 3-year projects, and this is the project. This is the year that it almost looks done, so they can bring it right.
Yeah.
Or they're 2-year projects, and it's like it's almost okay. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
It seems weird to me. It's sort of anticlimactic. But like when you, from a social media standpoint, like if you're taking a picture 15 feet away from the car, you can't see that it doesn't have an interior. Or, you know, whatever.
Right.
And there was like that Ferrari 308 that one guy Stanceworks did.
Yeah.
It's actually coming to Radwood.
Yeah, I mean that thing.
Oh,
is
cool.
Horrible paint job. It's just like and plus he made a 308 that's like a good looking car into a not good looking. You know,
and it's slammed, right?
It's just slammed. It's like a time attack looking like. It's
I
like
mean, I
what
think,
it's like
that's
what all these 308s have been at SEMA for the last few years. There's been a few 308s and 328s and stuff, and they all look like that. But this one has like a white spray paint. It looks like someone spray painted it with this paint. You know, spray painted it with the rattle can or something.
Yeah, I think we had talked about that car a little bit, and I mean, I think his name's Mike down at Stanceworks. I think he's done cool stuff in the past. Like I support the guy. I'm into it, but
and it's like an undrivable
like,
car.
I think that our discussion was around like, man, if that thing was like built for the kind of driving we do, that would be so cool.
If it had like
give me some
380
sidewall
horsepower out of
some,
a K24.
Yeah, and some compliant suspension and a little bit of clearance.
That would be cool. That would be original. This is like not an original thing because he made it look like all the other 308s people have been bringing.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that drop and put fender over fenders.
The sort of time attack aesthetic is very much of the moment. People want to put like big aero and low ride height, and it's like a little bit more motorsports than stance, but still like not really functional for the things that we do with cars.
Yeah, or anyone does with cars really.
I mean, if you're doing time attack, like
then you could build a brand new GTR or something.
I mean, a lot of people do run like old weird stuff in time attack. It's sort of a thing, but
we had Radwood Atlanta.
Yeah, it looked good.
I'm bummed that Art isn't here to talk about it because I know he wanted to cover some stuff, but we can cross that bridge when he gets back. But I can give the brief, summary, which is good show. Second time going back there for Radwood. Last time we did it at Road Atlanta, and we ended up across the street at Lanier Raceway.
How'd you feel about Lanier?
The property itself is really cool, and I wish we had a track like that around here.
Yeah,
it is
pretty cool.
So cool. So it used to be a dirt circle track back in the good old days, and full on just moonshine NASCAR kind of scene. Although I don't think it's that old, but it was all dirt, and then they paved it. And the cool thing about this track is that there's no transition to the infield. It's a smooth bowl from the top of the banking all the way down. It just
goes all the way down to this apron.
All the same pavement. I think there might be a drain at some point in the infield area, but the whole area can be used to drive on. And so what they have is a bunch of plastic barriers that they can configure to whatever they want, or cones or whatever. So you could do a full circle track NASCAR style. You can do a road course with some banking. You can do
They do a lot
drift.
of local drift nights
So
there.
they do drift. They have carts. And when they bought the track, it came with like 25 go-karts.
Oh, cool.
And all the stuff to make that happen. It's very affordable. They have a bunch of different options. And so for Radwood, we had it so you could go to Radwood with your show car, and then you buy a separate autocross ticket for the end of the day. And it was a mirrored 1 mile course.
That was super cool.
Yeah, that's
super
rad. I saw
cool.
that.
And and it was just first come, first serve. So you'd get matched up with whoever, but there were some good pairings, and then there were some cars that were really slow. But one guy brought a Mitsubishi van, the mid-engine Toyota competitor, and he was bombing like pretty good. And then he got done, and he was like a younger guy, and he came up to us and was like all sweaty and stuff. He's like, dude, SCCA won't let me touch a track with this van. Like, that was the fastest I've ever driven it, and it was super fun, and he was all hyped on it.
That's rad.
It was super cool. And if like that was easier in California to do stuff like that, or if like even
it's what you get when you move to Georgia. You get some of these freedoms.
I know. And then across the street is BBS headquarters, and then Fox Racing now, or Fox Shocks.
Yeah. Did BBS bring out anything? Were they involved?
They did not. No, I think I don't know if they're doing that well.
No, my brother's been out there a couple
for
times
Fox, right?
Yeah.
And then Michelin bought Road Atlanta. So it's Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. So that's cool.
A couple of years back.
Hopefully that keeps them going. There was some action over there, like some SCCA runoff stuff, or I don't know. But so back at Lanier.
I didn't realize you guys were doing the autocross, which is like such a cool addition.
It was very
obviously
cool.
very venue dependent.
How many people signed up for it? I mean, was there?
We had like 25 or something. 30. It was $70, but you get 2 hours of unlimited autocross action.
Did you have to move your own cones?
No moving cones, no working.
That's perfect.
Amazing.
Incredible. Like
that means you could just keep going, right?
You just keep going back on the line.
Yeah.
So you'd pay like $40 or $50 here. It's an all day thing, and you get like 4 runs.
Yeah.
Literally.
And you do a lot of standing.
And 4 runs, we're talking about like a minute, maybe
cones.
a minute and a half per run.
Maybe, yeah.
So like,
and this is a pretty long run.
A mile is way long.
And
for an
you
autocross.
start off out of the gates, you go on a full banked like half of the track.
I watched that one run. There was like a wagon, like a JDM-ish wagon thing with like flares and stuff.
He was kind of drifty.
And he was kind of hauling ass, dude.
Yep.
And he was up against Camaro, like a
totally. There was like 944 versus Firebird. There was RX-7 versus Miata. Like,
that's a super cool format. I haven't seen that done.
It was so cool. So you go all the way around the banking, full speed. Then you come in and you go around the infield banking, and then you do a couple more turns, and then you're done.
So Optima had the exact same thing at SEMA.
Yeah.
The Optima Challenge, like area outside.
Right. Yeah.
But theirs was a straight, a U-turn, and then back.
Ugh.
And then you have to stop in a box.
Yeah. This is the same stop in a box.
Every car was a Mustang or Camaro.
Right. Yeah, this was awesome.
This seems a lot better than that.
We may be back there. They definitely are interested in doing it again. So I would like to optimize that, like with more cars and stuff. But what we did do is we had Lee Keen came, and he brought his Safari 911.
I saw he brought a handful out.
Yeah, and then he had some customers
cars,
bring their cars.
Did he have that?
Because it looked like they did a little rally thing like a couple days before, a week before.
Yeah, he had a gathering of his Safari cars, which he does, I think, once a year.
Yeah, and he had like 15 of them.
Yeah.
Or something.
And he rented like this old clay dirt track and got to mod around it out in like rural South Carolina or something. But so he came out and he ripped around early for a little while. It was pretty rad. I mean, the car is like pretty underpowered and it's on KO2s, but he's like full like sideways around that banking turn.
That's rad.
Yeah.
And like giving it the Swedish flick, a Finnish flick or whatever they call it, where he's like, getting the car unsettled and flipping it around. And then
Lee's a hell of a driver.
He's very good. And he did exhibition laps, and then we did a raffle. So everyone could enter the raffle, went to charity, and then we picked 6 winners, and they got to go on hot laps with him.
Oh, cool.
And like scare the crap out of him.
In the Safari car?
Safari car. Yeah, he also
The
brought
red one, right?
He brought that Ruby Stone car too, right?
Yeah, he brought a
I was wondering if he
964 RS as well as his like
autocross
personal
that
car.
thing.
But yeah, the show was cool. We got a little unlucky with weather. Beforehand, it was raining like on Friday. There was a tropical storm which rolled through. That was interesting. And then the forecast said it would be sunny and nice and 68 degrees, but it was kind of like cloudy and rained a little bit on the show day. For the most part, people were stoked. People definitely left when it started raining, which was a little bit of a bummer. But we had a good awards presentation. People, I think, were pretty happy with it. There's never been anything like it out there, so that was cool. And the people at Caffeine and Octane were very super supportive, and like they run that track really well. So it was nice to like go
Did
to
you
a
see?
venue.
And you may not know them. Did you see the guys from Koru Works?
Mm-mm.
Were they out there? Because I was messaging with one of the guys I know at Atlanta, Greg Bussell. He works at a shop called Koru Works. He's pretty involved in FD. They do a bunch of JDM stuff.
Nice.
He asked if I was coming out, so I didn't know if they were there. That Koenig car looked super cool.
Yeah, that's a cool one. It was an RMC Miami car that the guy had bought, and then it basically he had to tear it all apart and work on it for 2 years or something.
Get it sorted.
And he had never worked on a 928 before. He kind of sounded just like he figured it out. And up until like the night before the show, he told us when he arrived that he was working on it. And yeah, I mean, anytime like that's such a ringer of a car for us, a wide body like a Koenig of any kind. Is already going to be like way up there unless it's like really shabby or
I think
weird.
Koenigs have won like 3.
Yeah, it's hard
I
to.
want to say 3 best
pretty epic.
Radisson shows.
The Mercedes,
the
S-Class.
Porsche in Jersey,
Yep.
right? The black one won, I think.
Is that Radisson show with the weird headlights?
I want to say, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
then
this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a pattern because we were joking around about it because Radis truck was a mini truck. It was a cabriolet GMC Sonoma with a articulating bed and a BMX bike and a cool
color. I saw
color.
that, yeah.
And the guy had bought it as is and then kind of like just restored it, but it was painted that way in the 90s.
It was like bright blue, right? Or
Yeah,
something?
bright blue.
Yeah.
And then a Bentley Mulsanne S in like a 2-tone with white walls, like crazy car.
Oh, yeah. That thing looked nice.
It was super cool. And so that one import. And then domestic was a 93 Camaro pace car, which had like the wild interior and the crazy, tritone.
Is that the Indy pace car?
Yeah.
Purple and yellow. Yeah.
It's actually white and like black with red stripes.
Huh.
It's
Purple
like-
is the Corvette, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So anyways, that it was really good, well
And
represented.
that motorcycle looked cool.
Motorcycle was awesome. That was a Cagiva Dakar 125.
an elephant or something.
I'd have to pull it up. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, the
old
guy who told an interesting story. The
Cagiva.
Cagiva bought Ducati and
Yes.
like resurrected it, and then Ducati was bigger than them or something. I don't know what happened, but
Italian
Something like
motorcycle
that.
companies, fairly incestuous corporate history. They tend to like buy each other
Trade.
and go bankrupt, and then
Yeah.
get somebody else buys it out.
Probably some, like, Ponzi scheme
It's just
stuff.
like there's this family called the Castiglionis. I think they've bought and sold Cagiva and MV Agusta like 6 times.
got it. Yeah. So, anyways, that was a clear winner. We only had like
Yeah, but they have
4
that
bikes.
cool little elephant logo.
No, I don't think it was that. It had a different name. I'll look it up. It was like a tubular or something. I forget, but it was awesome. It was very cool. Yeah, the show overall was cool. So good venue. People seem to be stoked on it. The weather was a little bit of a bummer, but all in all, people
Yeah,
had a
dude,
good
I
time.
saw when you flew in, you posted a story. It was like, oh, it's a tropical storm. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
We literally landed during the tropical storm hitting Atlanta, which fortunately wasn't a huge hurricane to start with. It turned into a tropical storm, but it's also so far inland, it's not a powerful storm at that point.
But it could have definitely been a full rain out. So you guys,
Yeah. We
get
got
a bit of
lucky.
luck, yeah.
We definitely got lucky, all things considered. And then that
I feel
night,
like we always get lucky.
well, it was unlucky if you look at it like compared to, SoCal weather, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
you have had rainouts before and like a wind event, right? Austin was so windy one year. You
Well,
had that.
Austin's just windy, period.
Well, we had to cancel that one, though.
Oh, yes, that was unlucky. That was a full winter storm. With
And then we
ice.
had Sonoma was a full-on gnarly wind
was
rain.
horrible. We
Oh, I
should
heard that,
have
yeah.
canceled that.
Cold
And
as all
still
hell.
like 200 people came. But we had so the hurricane. Yeah, so this is how it went. Tropical storm Friday for setup. Decent Saturday, pretty warm, 60, 65, but like a little bit of like light rain here and there. And then the next day was 30 degrees colder. A cold front came in, and the rest of like the week was going to be like a high of 45.
Yeah,
so we're like,
it does get cold.
we got kind of lucky.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
so we went out. Lee Keen invited us to dinner, but he lives all the way down in Atlanta, which is like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
But we decided to say, forget it and go. So we drove into town, and man, there's a lot of traffic in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Atlanta is a
that,
traffic-y.
like perimeter loop thing.
Dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gnarly.
Like we just had to go to FedEx after the show, and it's just in like a big, there's a mall and a Olive Garden and just all that kind of stuff, packed. Like, and this is Saturday at like 4. I mean, traffic on the highway, traffic on the roads, like sitting at stoplights for multiple rounds. You're like, what is happening? Just people,
Atlanta traffic is no joke.
people, man. So we made it in there, went to Lee's house, super rad. He has a converted church that they spent a ton of time and effort converting into like kind of a mid-century cool space. Like the main part of the church is now their kitchen and living room. Huge, like vaulted ceiling and very interesting decor. Lee's wife is either in architecture or design or maybe both. So had a heavy hand in that. And then downstairs, like underneath is like a garage / shop, hangout, man cave,
trophy room.
And he's got like, some really cool Porsche stuff. He sold all the Subarus. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there's no more rally stuff. But he's got an amazing case of die-cast models and like maybe just regular models, but super, super detailed, like a very expensive, model collection. And then the leather couches and the TV stuff, all that scene, super rad. But yeah, he's got like, dude, crazy, like a 997 RSR, white, full.
Is it the Manti racing car?
I think it is.
Yeah. He was campaigning that a year or two ago.
He was able to buy it and keep it, and it's just like perfect white, like baddest of the bad, a Moss spec, and then
I'm pretty sure he's still doing some pro level motorsport. He's driving. I think he was driving with.
I thought he was
driving with 311 RS.
I thought he just hung it up. I saw something, maybe. And then he was like coaching and stuff. Or he like helps run a team, or
maybe exactly
manages a team or something.
Yeah, he was driving for a team and helping one of the young racers there, which by the way came from sim racing.
Yeah. That's like a vector into motorsports now.
Crazy, right?
Remember that GTR Academy?
Yeah.
Where that was what it was. It was
Yeah. And then like all the drift guys in the off season, they're on a Assetto Corsa all the time for like.
I mean,
I get that.
Yeah. Same with like the F1. Whatever. Yeah. Same thing.
Incredible. So yeah, he was training them, but we ended up getting to his house right as the sprint race was starting for Brazil.
Did he have a really cool simulator?
It was not starting, but he was playing it. No, he didn't actually. But
remember that thing?
He said he wasn't into it. He was like, I'm not.
Remember pandemic app tuning? The one dude had a ringer come in and race for him because it was part of the whole series, and like they got. It was for Formula E, I believe. They were doing the Formula E racing, and it was like he wasn't even there. It was like he got someone else to race for him, and he got kicked out of the series and stuff. Yeah,
that's not good.
And he was part of the Apt family. He was like Jonathan Apt or something.
Bad.
ABC. They just take the test for him, man.
Yeah. So we watched that race. It was fun watching with Lee too, because he's a professional race car driver.
So you guys watched F1.
We watched the sprint race, and then there was a couple other dudes there that were, cool, super cool guys. And then we all went to dinner with.
Was it part of his crew that came to Atlanta last time that like was all dressed up?
No, I don't think so. It was two guys that I had met before, and I can tell you off air who they were. But so went and had a good dinner, and then drove all the way back.
What'd you guys do for dinner? There's a lot of good food in Atlanta.
Went to a place called Companion, which was like a very hip, kind of like American Southern cuisine. But what they did was they had takes on fast food, but like gourmet fast food. So they had a filet of fish sandwich, but it was like
sounds very Atlanta.
Brioche bun, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they had a daily. They had a crunch wrap du jour. So it was a daily new crunch wrap they would make, and it was like a Mexican hamburger crunch wrap or something, which Art got. It looked pretty good.
Sounds delicious.
And they had amazing wings. Anyways, it was all good. But we had a good time, and then drove all the way back north, like an hour to get to a hotel, and then the next morning I had to wake up and drive all the way an hour back south.
That's cool.
It was cool. We wouldn't have done anything else other than go to that chateau. You know how that chateau goes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Chateau Alon, which is so funny. It's like their take on like Napa. So we did go there for dinner on one of the nights, but it was a
nice little bar hangout scene.
It was actually pretty. Yeah,
you guys hit up a Waffle House,
dude. I could see a Waffle House from we were going to, but we ended up going to like a local restaurant.
Stupid.
I know.
You guys have a weird Waffle House tradition at RADwood?
Yeah, dude.
I thought about it.
We hit one up really late night once.
But the lady that was the waitress she had a mullet and called Art Sugar. So that was pretty sick.
Yeah, there you go.
I was down with that.
She didn't call you Sugar, just Art?
Art, for sure.
Nice.
But dude, I got sweet potato fries. I put this on Instagram. Sugar.
That sounds good.
For dinner, but like not a dessert.
Brown sugar.
Still sounds
brown
good,
sugar
though.
on the fries?
White sugar.
Oh, whoa.
I bet they were good though.
They're really good.
Yeah.
but it just seemed ludicrous. Like they were caked on there. It wasn't like just a little sprinkling. It was like,
You're like, oh, these are going to be way too salty. And then,
but then you put a little
sugar.
ketchup on that.
Yeah.
And the savory.
Ooh,
and the,
man, it sounds delicious.
I know.
It's good.
It's amazing that no one is overweight there.
Good eating. What, in Atlanta? All right.
Yeah. So anyways, Atlanta was great. Art will have more insights, I'm sure. Oh, there was one piece of news that I thought the listeners would appreciate, but on the flight out, Art is sitting like 10 rows behind me because he never books his flights early enough. So he always gets the worst seats. But I had to get up for some reason. I think like maybe someone next to me had to get up, or I forget what it was. I can't remember. But anyways, I stood up and I looked back and Art's seat was empty because I kind of remember where he was sitting. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So he must have been in the bathroom. Meanwhile, the beverage cart starts coming down the aisle towards me. And as it gets to Art's empty seat, all of the water falls on the floor and napkins everywhere. Just the presence of Art's aura was enough to spill water on the plane.
Awesome.
And it made a huge racket. Like everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
because I think everyone's on edge when they fly now because all the YouTube or the Instagram videos of people going berserk on flights now. They just cannot keep their shit together.
Yeah.
And so once it was like, oh crap. And then people are helping the guy pick all this stuff up. And it was like the big, like 1 liter bottles that he would pour, refill the cups.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a bunch of cans, but just made like a big racket. And then Art popped out of the bathroom and he didn't have any idea that it had happened. But I told him later, I'm like, dude, that almost counts for like you spilling.
Yeah. It was basically his fault.
It was basically his fault.
It was.
I don't want to say it, but it's basically what happened.
Art made a whole thing of water fill. Yeah.
We got a Corolla Cross for a rental car, which is the new, I don't know what
what is it?
Slightly
It's a car
larger
thing.
hatchback version of a Corolla.
Oh.
It's probably all right.
It was fine, but man, really wheezy drivetrain.
Yeah.
Very rackety and clackety and also CVTE.
Yeah.
It was
That's a bummer.
not great. Other than that, it was just fine. It was that or a Tacoma, and we picked that. Oh. Because Tacoma's they're just not that, I don't drive that great.
Comfortable either.
I'm not comfortable.
Although I would have picked Tacoma.
Would you?
I mean, you're in truck
They're
country
pretty
for sure.
Old feeling. I kind of felt like it would be more comfortable to be in a decent car.
Yeah, but
And also the Tacoma was old. Like it was like beat up and like a little old. The Cross
40,000
was
hard miles or
new.
something.
It had like, I think it had 1,000 miles on it.
I mean, that's something
That counts
you've
for
never
something,
driven
yeah.
to, so,
Exactly.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking
Sounds
to it.
fun, man.
It was good. It was a good show. Glad to be back. Now we got LA this weekend, which this podcast will come out much after that show. But we are days away from Los Angeles.
And then we are coming up on the DWA rally.
Indeed.
Coastal Range Rally.
Coastal
that
Range
is.
Rally 2022 coming to you.
That's the year.
And we'll maybe get an M3 on the rally. I doubt it. We got a GTI going.
I feel decent about the M3.
Let's see. If not, we got to get
I mean,
the
if it
E30.
doesn't pass smog,
Oh, well, you could
But
just drive it off a cliff at
if
that point.
assuming it passes smog, I feel like it should go.
We'll talk. I know you're a busy guy, though. Got a lot of ins and outs.
I've been busy. Yeah. Been doing things.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
Also had sick kids, which has just killed my productivity the last week or so.
Yeah.
But I've been doing things.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my car in here for Nick to do a few things.
We're
on the
queued up.
911,
Yep.
And then we'll see if I take it on the rally.
If you don't
What
take
else
on
would
a rally,
you?
what the hell you take?
I don't
Tully
know.
ride?
Maybe I have something else planned.
This guy. Wait, is there one more episode before the rally where you could debut a surprise?
No, there's definitely
thing.
more before
Yeah.
the rally.
Well, we'll record again, but it'll be.
Will it release?
No, we'll do
Yeah, it
one
will
more
be.
before
Yeah.
the rally.
It'll be one more.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See
Big
what
news.
it is.
There is a Mini Cooper here now.
I know.
But it's
When
not
I
you-
saw
it's
it,
not
I was like,
yours.
who's Mini Cooper? And Warren's like, is that yours?
I bought it
Yeah.
for you.
Because I thought he was like playing coy because he's kind of hinted at these
So
cars.
our friend Chrissy came and grabbed his 86 and swapped that thing in.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it before the show. They've aged really well. It's a great looking car.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's cool.
That generation only.
Yes, correct.
R53, right?
53.
Yeah. Supercharged.
Yep.
Supercharged.
Yep. This is true. Trivia time?
I think so.
Okay. Saw an article today about the least expensive car for sale in North America.
Mirage still.
Negative. I got to find the article though, so stand by.
Isn't it like a Versa?
Versa Note. They stopped making that, I thought.
Did you say Versa?
Yeah, that was my guess.
It is a Versa.
Versa Note?
Damn it.
I don't think they make the Note, do they?
That's what I thought. They
By the way,
discontinued the
I'm
Note.
glad I don't know that.
But Versa's less than a Mirage? Or they don't make the Mirage anymore?
I don't think they make the Mirage.
Mitsubishi is still selling cars in this country, correct?
They are. I saw a new SUV. It did not look new, but it was new the other day. Looks horrible.
One of my wife's friends bought a new Mitsubishi SUV.
Oh, it's sad.
And I was like,
Did you kind of like,
blown away. I mean, and she could get anything. She got a lot of different stuff, a lot of options. And they went out. I was like, how did you find a
went to
Mitsubishi
dealer and
like,
bought-
what? I'm so confused.
Well,
like,
sometimes
no,
if you follow those crazy lease deal hacker websites,
She's not like that.
Okay, because you can be. It's like
yeah.
$90 a month or
Sure.
something. But even then, okay. So how much is this 2023 Nissan Versa?
cheapest car in the world.
Cheapest car in North America. This is that's what
inflation.
It looks great.
it's way better than the old Versas.
I still hate them.
You're just gonna throw out inflation,
No, I'm like trying to.
I'm going to say
Ukraine.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
supply chain issues.
14.9.
Ooh, I'm gonna go
14.9,
16.5.
16.5.
We're both high.
Let me tell you this before I answer your question.
I don't think so.
Previously, I think this was years ago when we, on the podcast, we talked about the Versa. It was $11,000 car.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember that.
It is now, Nick nearly nailed it, 16.7.
It's
Ooh, and I Price is Right. I did the Price is Right.
I was-
25. You were low.
Yeah,
I
dude.
was low.
You come in
Dude,
with 14.5. They're gonna tell you to kick rocks.
That includes
I remember
destination delivery. Now the cheapest car. So for $800 more, I think it's $800 more.
you can buy an exploded 911.
Dude, yeah, actually that's true. That's what it says right here. You can buy a crappy 996. Interesting.
check out this, dude. My 2017 GTI was like 23,000 something.
It's crazy. So
Those
for
days are
800
gone,
more,
bro.
I
It's
know.
like $40,000
I know,
for
they're
a
like,
GTI.
yeah.
So a Kia Rio is $800 more, but it gets Apple CarPlay, heated side mirrors, standard CVT, which returns 1 mile per gallon better
Downgrade.
than Nissan. And there's no option for a manual. The cheap Nissan was a manual.
I got to tell you, I would prefer that they heat my seats over my mirrors.
What about
Hells
seat your
yeah.
heats?
Wow.
That's pretty nice
Yeah,
too.
that'd be cool.
This headline says charging a GMC Hummer EV to 100% can cost you over blank. With a battery over 3 times larger than most EVs, the Hummer EV is a costly vehicle to charge.
I'm gonna say it has to be like a round number,
Oh,
right?
but this is like, there's variable pricing on electricity.
Yeah,
I think
right?
that's why they
All
say
changes.
can.
So I'm gonna say $200.
In a worst case scenario, peak usage.
Lane says $200.
It's a lot. I'm going to say 140.
The answer is $100.
Oh, okay.
And it says
That
that
doesn't seem that.
You know how much it
expensive.
costs to put
To
gas
charge-
in a prior gen Hummer?
Yeah.
I know, but we're talking about electricity here. It's $100 to charge
Yeah,
your car.
By the way, it's 3 times the size of most.
They got
I
a
know.
button.
That thing is gnarly, dude.
I think that is something that people
It's
are
1,000
completely-
horsepower or whatever.
Use a lot of nuclears to
I mean,
make that
how much
happen.
gas are you gonna waste in a 1,000
Oh,
horsepower
well,
or whatever?
For sure. It would be more expensive to fill up a car comparably. But it says in the test, it took 2 hours and 32 minutes to fully charge the battery at 350 kilowatt charging
What's
station.
the range on that thing?
Not bad.
329 miles thanks to a 246 kilowatt battery
Jesus.
with 212 kilowatt usable capacity.
I wonder what the battery unit weighs in that car.
Oh my
it's probably like
God.
the weight of your M3.
Dude,
Yes, I
Yeah.
guarantee it. Yeah, I bet
It's
you're
like
right.
a whole
it's
ass
probably
car.
at least
Yeah.
a ton, dude.
Yeah.
It says that Electrify America's standing rates of 43 cents a kilowatt hour. That comes to a total of $96.32 before tax and fees. So $100.
Oh, and that's saying electrify. I mean, that means you can charge it like at home or something.
Costs you
Way
$0
cheaper.
if you charge it at work.
Yeah, but that's kind of staggering.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's not for the. You're not doing it for the
No, you're
value.
Obviously.
It's obviously just a toy. And
that truck is for nothing but showing off. It's the most. That's why they're always like, it's the most Hummer, most GM way of.
Is Ali still getting that one?
He's all like high on it. Last time I talked to him, I couldn't even hear what he was saying. I just like, get out of here.
He was stoked on it. He's going to take the allocation.
He's like stoked on getting it. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
He's a gear guy. He wants the latest gadget gear stuff.
That thing's already lame.
Like, I mean, I think
you know,
it's like it hasn't even. I haven't even seen one, and it's already.
Nice.
I saw him at SEMA last year, but
I've seen them. Yeah,
I haven't seen them on the road, and they're already lame.
I've seen
them
moving.
Kind of free money though. Like if you can get an allocation at sticker, sure you'll sell it.
You need to move it on real.
They
fast.
are like very imposing in person. They look just like a behemoth of a thing.
They look like a big Hummer.
Yeah, they're not good. So.
It seems like it's larger than any prior Hummer, except maybe the H1, right? Like it's hard to.
I feel like
get
it's bigger than H1.
It's not bigger than H1.
It's looks pretty friggin' big.
Crazy. I feel like it's bigger than H1,
like an Escalade size or larger, right?
Maybe longer, but
Suburban.
definitely not wider. Those things are crazy.
Okay,
wide.
I wouldn't know we were just talking about width.
Well, the width is gnarly.
I'm talking about height, width, length, like all together.
I remember.
I don't know
a story about when I was a kid. I had a client at a motorcycle shop who I think he had an H1 and his wife tried to drive it to the bank or something or a drive-through and just like ripped the drive-through apart because it wouldn't fit.
I've driven two of them and they are one of the more difficult cars I've driven.
They suck. Sure, They're horrible. Really my friend had one.
Never been in one.
Right when we finished high school, he bought one.
Oh, Forrest, right?
Yeah.
He's into gold mining. Dude. Can't do anything.
He had gold mining like pump on top of his truck, and I remember he was like trying to justify buying the Hummer because he could carry his gold mining equipment up there, like his big like suction cup thing for gold mining.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm like, how much gold did you get last time? He's like, says how many ounce, whatever. I'm like, how much is that worth? He's like, it's like $60. I'm like, yeah, but it's paying off, dude.
wait. So he was driving this Hummer up to where? To
like gold country
rivers, dude.
Yeah. How far away?
With a mile, with like a $5,000 gold mining machine.
Yeah.
Spend like $300 in gas to get $60
sure.
gold.
Yeah, dude.
But that's how gold mining is, man. But you could hit a rich any day. You never know.
His had the VCR in the back.
Oh my God.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I drove one of the upgraded, they're called like the Alphas, or, it's got that big cage over the front of the thing.
Yeah.
And all the modifications and stuff. It was like, and it was the most, first of all, in Santa Cruz, it's like you might as well be driving a tank, literally. And
I think you just like make Westcliff a one way road.
Well, no, I was going to say from like the point of like spectator impact, it was not
a crowd pleaser.
No, and every single person looks at you like, "What are you doing? You're the biggest asshole ever." So. Which is really cool. You can do like a lot of chapstick stuff in it.
Pretty rad, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, dude. It's pretty cool to be like a chapstick guy.
I think that's a podcast.
Wait, I have some Hummer dimensions.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Let's see if settle this fight.
Let's see if Lane is right.
The EV versus the
2022. Let's do that one first. I haven't even looked at which one is which.
Yeah.
217 length, 87-inch width, 79-inch height.
I need to write this down.
Okay.
Well, here,
217, 87.
Let me look up an H1. You keep that one.
I have the H1 right here.
Oh, you have it.
H1 is 185 length compared to 217.
Shorter.
87 width compared to 87 width.
Oh no, it's as wide as the
and 77 to 79 height, and this one's 79, the new one. Wow. So the new one is bigger because it is, dude, a whopping actually 12 inches longer, which is kind of gnarly. On a car, like the difference in 12 inches is the difference between like a 3 Series and a 7 Series, dude.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's longer. I cannot believe it's the same width.
Yeah,
that's shocking.
Staggering.
Because that width is really impractical.
But maybe that's why Hummers, because they aren't super tall. I mean, they're lifted, but like the roof line is low.
Yeah, they're pretty low.
And they're pretty stubby, but they're so wide for that.
So the new one's as wide.
What a dumb car.
But crab box.
That's true.
It does crab box.
It has 1,000 horsepower.
And only takes $100 to charge it.
That's actually, yeah.
That's crazy. What does it take for your Polestar?
I don't know. I've never paid for it.
Yeah.
Paid like $10 over.
Just free.
Yeah.
Just electricity comes from the skies.
Yeah, electricity costs money. What are you talking
I don't know.
It's natural, man.
Yeah, it's from the earth, man. It comes from like. By the way, you look across the bay and there's like this
Giant
this coal
stacks,
like
yeah.
stacks like.
Well, it's
pumping
nuclear.
We hope.
What's nuclear?
Moss Landing,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Moss
No, it
Landing.
isn't.
No, it isn't. It's coal.
Really?
It's natural gas.
Yeah.
Oh, they shut down. Wasn't there a nuclear reactor there?
No, we're nuclear free zone.
Yeah.
I think Monterey is too. Santa Cruz definitely is.
There's one down south on the coast, and there's one inland, but we do not have one in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Okay.
But
there you go.
yeah, Moss Landing, I see they're ripping it all apart. Every time I drive by, it looks.
Yeah, I saw they were doing a bunch of work on it.
Yeah.
Last
what they're doing.
That whole front area looks super derelict.
I haven't seen the smokestacks going forever.
Oh, you're right.
I don't
Huh.
know. They have like a
Oh,
different
they're.
part
You know
of
what
it.
they're doing? There's a
Somebody
big
told me they're
Tesla.
dismantling this. Yeah.
There's a big Tesla power grid thing there right now.
Interesting.
Our buddy John Jesse was down there.
We had a
or
whole
something.
conversation about electricity arbitrage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to hear more about it. Okay, that's a podcast.
Bye.
See you later.
Adios.